So hi and welcome. So for those that don't know me, I'm Amy Brandmeier. I'm a Senior Account Manager here at Xero, and today I'll be running you through a bit of an update in regards to single touch payroll and a bit of a look and a feel of how it will actually work in Xero. So a bit of what's on the agenda today. So I will be running through on how to enable STP and to file a pay run. I'll also talk you through on how to fix mistakes in Xero and the best practice on how to fix those as well. I'll be also running you through the STP finalization. I'll also be talking about terminated employees and where to go for help and support and next steps after this presentation as well. So for further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick it straight off and I'm going to jump into Xero itself and show you guys a bit of a demo of how to enable STP for your clients and also how to run a pay run once you've enabled STP for your clients as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump into my demo environment. So as you guys would actually see here when you first jump into Xero and you jump into the pay run sections, you'll actually be welcomed to with this banner on asking you guys to opt in for STP for your clients. So look, we're really excited today. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the button Get Started. So we'll be welcomed with this banner, and what we're going to do is just click the opt-in as well. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to be reviewing the organisation details. This is the first step in regards to opting in for single touch payroll. So it's also worthwhile to also do a bit of a check to make sure all the details are correct. And if they're not, you can simply just click on this hyperlink and it'll take you to the correct area to update the details for the client. But in this case, it's perfect. It's ready to go. All the details are up to date. So I'm just going to click continue. So when I click on continue, the next screen that I will then see is the agent's details. And so this is when I opt in for either the agent or for the client. So from this drop down, you'll see you can opt in as practice 1, 2, or the organisation. So this is a feature that we released at the start of the year. So for those that are out there that are invited into multiple Xero practices, say for example, you may run a business, but you're invited in as a consultant for another accounting firm or bookkeeping firm, you can actually choose which practice you opt into. And you can also select the option to opt in for the client. But for this demo, what we're going to do is opt in for demo practice 1. So what you'll do from here is go down and just review the details. So we can see the agent ABN, the agent number, and the agent contact names. In this case, again, it's all correct. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the continue. So from here, this is where the fun really starts to happen. This is where you then connect the subscription with the ATO. So there's two ways to do this. You can call the ATO with the number that's listed here on this page, or alternatively, you can jump in to the portal or to Access Manager and enter in the details as you need to for your clients as well. Now, all the information is actually found on step 2 of what you need to provide to the ATO. So we've got the ABN, the software provider, the SSID, agent ABN, and tax agent number as well. So all the information is there for you to help you out when you are opting in for STP for your clients. So once you've made contact with the ATO and you're connected, you're ready to go, all you need to do is click down here and go, I'm connected, and opt into STP. So now I'm going to show you guys what STP will look like once your client has opted in. So a big hint here is how to tell if your client has opted in for single touch payroll or not. What you'll see here up on the corner of the screen is you'll see that the single touch payroll settings option is there. If you don't see that for the client, that's a good indication to show that they've not opted in for single touch payroll. But for this client, they have. So what I'm going to do is show you what it will look like in a pay run. So I'm just going to click on, sorry, bear with me. I'll just click the plus a pay run button. So I'm going to go down and do a weekly calendar and click next. Now for demo purposes, this payroll is all ready to go. I'm ready to click the post pay run button, but of course what I would actually do in the real world scenario is go through and review the details before I hit the post pay run button. But as we're in a demo, this payroll is ready to go, so I'm going to click post pay run. Now you'll notice that a new pop-up has just appeared on the screen. So we've now allowed you to include the allowance types to be filed directly to the ATO via the STP process as well. So to allocate the allowances and to where they should be going to be filed to the ATO, all you need to do is click on Add Allowance Type and just allocate the allowance to the correct category. So for meals, we're just going to allocate to meals. Safety Officer Other. Uniform allowance is going to be laundry. So there is two ways to do this for your clients when setting up add allowance types. You can either do it in the payroll settings or you can also do it via the pop-up as well. Now I'm just going to click the save button. Now what I'm actually about to do is click the file button, but before I click the file button, there is just something I do want to mention. If you are filing STP for your clients for the first time in this current financial year, what it will actually do is bring across all the current financial year pay runs and lodge it to the ATO. So you don't need to go back to each pay run that you've performed for this financial year and click File, File, File. Once you click File that first time for the client, it will bring across all previous current financial year pay runs and lodge it to the ATO. So now look, what we're ready to do is file it with the ATO. So I'm going to click File, go down, click the authorization and just submit it to the ATO. So as you can see, with processing STP within Xero, once you have opted in, is just a couple of additional clicks on the pre-existing pay run process as well. So as you can see here, the STP filing has been accepted to the ITO and it's being clicked as filed as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly pop back to the slides. So before you opt in to single touch payroll, you will need to decide who is going to opt in for STP. Is it going to be your clients or is it going to be the practice? So before you opt in, it's worth discussing with the client of who's going to file the STP with the ATO. Is it going to be the client or is it going to be you guys, the practice? If you process the pay run, then you should opt in. If the client processes the pay run, then they should opt in. But there are some circumstances where both you and the client will be processing the pay run, so then you should both opt in. And also make sure you always obtain the authorization to file for the client as well. Now, before you also opt in, it's also worth going through and correcting the organization settings, as we did see during the STP setup process, but it doesn't hurt to go into the background and just double check that all the details are correct. And make sure you use the employee's details report to check for missing or incorrect information. And make sure you also map the allowance items to the ATO categories. As mentioned, when you do opt in, as well, there are two different ways to map the allowances in Xero. It's either through the payroll settings or you'll also be introduced with that pop-up as well as you're performing the pay run as well. So if you do need more information in regards to the ATO categories, please talk to the AAT or the ATO for more information as well. Now, what I'm going to cover is fixing mistakes. So what happens if you make a mistake? Personally, don't worry. We are all human. They can be fixed in pretty much the same way that you would before single touch payroll. So you can revert the most recent pay run, even if it's filed, and make the changes and file again. You can also use an unscheduled pay run and also file that as well. But you can also just correct the errors in the next pay run as well. So always remember that every time you file, that is the information that is sent to the ATO and that updated information as well. So what does an error look like in Xero when you have receive an email when something went wrong? So I'm going to jump into Xero and show you guys how to fix some of the errors in Xero as well when the ATO hasn't accepted the filing. So I'm just going to pop in here. So the payroll admins will receive an email from Xero notifying them that the information has contained some errors and you'll need to jump in and fix them as well. So in Xero, we've got a really simple way on how to correct those errors and where to find them. So from the drop-down menu of payroll, we just go down to single touch payroll and click on there. So what we're first introduced to is a section up the top that says need attention. So that's obviously the pay run that obviously was declined by the ATO due to the errors. But I'm just going to walk through this page really quickly. So over here we've got a filtering system, so you can filter financial year. So as you go through, and you can see all the completed pay runs that have been successfully filed with the ATO. So from this error, I'm going to click the drop down menu, and we can see that we've entered the incorrect address for Peter. So to fix the error, all we need to do is click onto the hyperlink, go down to the section to fix his postcode. So there we go. We've seen the typo from a 1 to a 4, and we correct that just by clicking the save button. And what we do is we jump back into that section again. So again, from the payroll tab down to single touch payroll. Now we know that we've corrected that error, so what I'm going to do is resubmit it to the ATO. Again, go down the bottom, click the authority to file, and again, submit to the ATO. So that's the quick and simple way on how to fix the errors in Xero as well. So what I'm going to do is just quickly touch on STP finalization. So during our end of financial year webinar series, we will have webinars dedicated to the STP finalization process. So to find the way to do the STP finalization in Xero, all you need to do is click the payroll button, go down to employees, and then from here you'll be greeted with the drop down menu and click on STP finalization. This is also a great way to know if your client has opted in for single touch payroll or not. So what we need to do is notify the ATO. So what we're going to do is just click over all of these clients that have been working for us. But what I want to do is go down the bottom here and just click on the toggle and also show the employees that have been terminated during the financial year. So before we lodge this information with the ATO, what I'm going to do is just click over here and click on the toggle menu and go down to edit. So here you will be able to see the employee year-to-date summary as well. You'll be able to have the employee details with their tax file number, where the data for the period, and you'll also see all the information flow through from the pay runs that you've performed throughout the year. So it includes the gross payments, the lump sums, and the super contributions as well. What you'll also be able to see as well, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit as well, is in regards to the reportable fringe benefits amount. So as you notice that this is a manual button, you will need to type in the figures. So I'm just going to type in some figures here. And once that is correct for the client, I'm just going to click the save button and save those details for the client. So as you can see, you can do a quick little overview, a quick little review of the details before you submit the information to the ATO. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so we can see just a little bit more detail. So as you can see with the RFBA, that link has actually popped up underneath Jake's name. And once that is all good, ready to go, we can just click finalize and submit to the ATO. Again, click the authority again for the permission to submit, and click submit to the ATO. So that's it. That is the STP finalization all within Xero as well. So what I'm going to do is just pop back to the slides really quickly. So terminated employees. So if you need to report that an employee was terminated prior to you opting in for single touch payroll, which you may have found that the employee's earnings coming through as nil in the STP finalization screen. Our product team is aware of this, and we are working hard on a fix for you guys out there. And the best way to include a terminated employee prior to opting in is to simply file the last employee's pay run to the ATO. So this pay run would be their final pay, and you can tell it's their final pay as the final pay banner will display. While we are on the subject of finalization, as I just showed you guys before, it's also important to remind you that while you may have terminated employees, that this does not mean that they are finalized with the ATO. You will always need to make sure that you would need to hit that toggle button, and with all employees, they will need to be finalized in the STP finalization screen as well. So once the STP finalization is submitted to the ATO and the file is accepted, employees will be able to complete their tax returns via their MyGov account. Now, payroll subscriptions. Xero has a number of solutions out there for your clients at the moment. So with all business edition subscriptions, which include payroll, and the subscription you choose will be dictated by the number of employees that you need to pay. So we've also recently introduced our Xero payroll only plan for only $10 per month, which can pay for those 1 to 4 employees per month. It has the full functionality of the Xero payroll tab except Auto Super, and it's a great introduction for those clients that need an STP solution for them with our payroll only plan as well. So here at Xero, we're here to help you out. We have a whole heap of resources to help you during these next couple of months. We've got a single touch payroll landing page. So just write down the URL or just simply jump into Google and type in single touch payroll Xero, and you will be greeted with the page that you see there on the left. You can also jump into Xero U and Xero Central, and we'll have a whole heap of webinars for our partners and for your clients as well. You'll also be able to do the payroll certification, and Xero Central is there to help you and instruct you on everything that we have covered here today as well. And also, if you are a Xero partner, please reach out to your account manager. We are here to help you out and would love to provide you with all the resources if there's something that you need a little bit more help with. And also refer to the Xero blog in regards to updates that come out in regards to single touch payroll from us here at Xero. So one thing I do want to mention as well is with the massive change that is coming for all of our clients in the next couple of months, we've got a single touch ready badge that you are able to proudly display on your advisor listing on Xero.com. So this single touch payroll ready badge is as easy to get as 1, 2, 3. All you need to do is be Xero certified, do payroll certification, and attend the webinar moving your clients to single touch payroll. Once you've done those 3 things, that STP badge will be there ready for you to proudly display on your advisor listing page. So again, to reiterate, we have a Xero and single touch payroll landing page with all the resources to help you out, which includes single touch payroll playbooks, Xero webinars, and so forth like that. And please remember, if you do need additional help, to reach out to your Xero account manager here at Xero.